Hello. Assalamualaikum, Cik Amir.
Mr. Akmal.
Um, so our company just received a letter concerning about the tax audit. Um, our company doesn't have a tax officer to do the audit. So could I hire you as our tax agent to to meet up with the audit officer?
Sure, I can help you. Can we meet at 12 o'clock?
Could you please come at around 12? No. Um, wait. Let me check out my schedule first. Okay. You can come around 1 p.m. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Ami. See you soon. Bye.
Okay, I will meet you at 1 p.m. Okay, see you soon. Okay, thank you, Mr. Akmal. Okay.
All have ugly friends. Check me out. Check me out.
At the starting of the week, at Summit Talks, you'll hear them speak. It's only Monday.
Mr. Ami?
Hi, Mr. Akmal.
Hello. So regarding our situation today, I call you here for this. Please take a look. This is our company financial report.
Okay.
So could you please check and make sure that our company financial report is okay. Then if you could continue audit the financial report, then please do so.
Mr. Akmal. You know, even small transaction is matter in business.
Yes.
And I think some of the income has been declared.
So what am I supposed to do about that?
Okay, so we need to go to carefully this text and I will make sure we can audit your text with good.
Yes. Mr. Amir,
Yes.
by any chance, could you please explain to me a little about the tax audit? What is tax audit actually?
Yes, I can explain. Assalamualaikum. Now I will present about introduction in tax audit. So, what is tax audit? Tax audit is an examination of a taxpayer business record and financial affairs to ascertain that the right amount of income should be declared and the right amount of tax should be calculated and paid in accordance with tax law and regulations. There are two types of audits, which is desk audit and field audit. First is desk audit. The desk audit is held at the IRBM office. It involves issue or adjustment for income and tax that can be resolved by correspondence. The taxpayer may be called for an interview at IRBM office if further information is required. Generally, this audit involves checking all information on income and expenses, as well as various types of claims made by a taxpayer in his income tax return. But in certain circumstances, this audit case may be referred for a field audit action. The taxpayer will be informed through a field audit notification letter. For a field audit, interview can be conducted at a taxpayer's premise, the IRBM office, or at another agreed upon location. Involve the checking on overall business records range between 1 until 3 YE. In the case of sole proprietorship or partnership, personal records such as personal bank statements may be needed if the business records are incomplete or missed expenditure such as travel expense and business expenses. Taxpayer will be given notice prior to a field audit. Field audit comprise one of the following. First is general compliance audit. Second is issue-based audit that include 5 items, which is business expenses, capital allowance, withholding tax, tax incentive, and other technical issue. Third is special audit, which is include 3 items, which is transfer pricing, electronic trading, and intentional client audit, which is a joint effort with foreign tax authority. Next, for objective audit. The main objective of tax audit is to encourage voluntary compliance with the tax law and regulation and to ensure that the higher tax compliance rate is achieved under the SAS. In this regard, the audit officer is required to ensure that the correct amount of income has been reported and the right amount of tax has been paid in accordance with the tax law and regulations. For the purpose of achieving voluntary compliance, the tax audit activity is one of the measures undertaken by IRBM to educate and create awareness of taxpayers towards their rights and responsibilities under the provision of the ITA. By the way, Mr. Akmal, do you know audit process?
Yes, I do know about the audit process. Let me tell you about it. Okay, first, the audit process is audit venue. This is where the location of the audit is conducted. Usually, a general review is carried out at the RIBM's office, whereas a comprehensive review audit is carried out at a taxpayer's business premise or at IRBM's office. Next is the audit commencement. This is just the initial start of the audit. Initiated by notifying the auditee of the audit schedule, scope and requirements. Next comes the visit. Audit visit is only applicable to the comprehensive review. In the case of a general review, requests for documents and information letter will not be issued in certain cases, but taxpayer will be notified of any income and tax adjustment that will be issued with the notice of assessment. In the case of a comprehensive review, a compliance visit notification letter will be issued to the taxpayer at least 14 days to the date of visit. Next is the record of examination. This is where the detailed review and verification of financial records, document and system. During the course of an audit, the audit officer should be allowed to examine all business records and to inspect stock and equipment physically for verification of the claims. In certain circumstances, there may be a need to examine records other than business records, where it involves the audit of sole proprietorship and partnership. Next is audit time frame. This is the period where the audit complete, where the period allocated for completing the audit activities. Audit time frame is just the time required to complete an on-site examination of records, where it usually takes around 1 to 3 days. And lastly, the settlement of an audit. This is the conclusion phase where audit findings are reported. During this process, the audit officer will prepare an audit finding reports for approval by the branch audit manager. Hello, Mr. Audit.
Hello, Mr. Ahmad.
Please introduce my tax agent, Mr. Amin.
Hello, Mr. Ahmad.
Hello. Please have a seat. Have a seat.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Amin, welcome to my company.
It is my pleasure to come to your company.
Yes, as I have mentioned in the message, here is my tax report. Should you please take a look?
Mr. Amin, can I have a look at Mr. Akmal's financial report?
Yes.
Okay. By the looks of it, I can see that Mr. Akmal's financial report and tax report is free of error and misstatement, and there is no miscellaneous activities in the tax report. Okay, Mr. Akmal, I can see that all your tax report and your financial report are free from misstatement, and there are no miscellaneous activity, there are no fraud. So you can proceed to pay your tax income to the LHDN.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Alif, for your fullest cooperation.
It's okay. It is my pleasure to conduct audit to your company because it is my responsibility as audit officer to conduct audit to your company. So, Mr. Akmal, do you know about the when to pay your tax income?
I didn't know about that. Could you please explain to me about that?
Okay, let me explain to you. So now, I'm going to talk about the right and responsibility of the party that are involved in tax audit. The first party that I'm going to talk about is the audit officer. The first right of an audit officer is they have right to access records and premises. They can enter business premises to inspect records and examine the account books, invoice, bank statements, contract and digital records. The second one is they have right to request information from the stock. They can demand documents related to the tax assessment and question the taxpayer, accountants or relevant personnel. And they have also the right to impose penalties, charge additional tax 100% to 300% surcharge for underreported income, and they can also apply late payment interest 10% per annum on unpaid taxes. And they can also have the right to investigate tax fraud. The responsibility for an audit officer is they need to follow legal audit procedure. They must issue an official notice and conduct audit outside working hours. And the second one is they need to maintain confidentiality. Taxpayer information cannot be disclosed unless required by law. And they need to avoid harassment and intimidation. They must act professionally and fairly and not harass or intimidate the taxpayer and provide clear explanation for their audit findings. And lastly, issue clear audit findings. They must provide a written summary of findings, and taxpayers have 30 days to respond and appeal. Now, for taxpayers, they have rights for a fair treatment and privacy. The tax information cannot be disclosed to third party, and LHDN audit must be conducted professionally without harassment. And they have also right to appeal the LHDN decision. They can challenge the LHDN tax assessment within 30 days according to the Section 99 Income Tax Act 1967. And they can also request a review or mediation if dispute arises. And they also have right to appoint a tax agent to assist them in doing their tax. For the taxpayer responsibility, they need to file tax returns on time. The individual in the BE form is on the 30th April. And for the business, they need to file a B form on the 30th of June. And for companies, the C form, they need to file it on the 7th month after the financial year end. And second one, they need to keep record for 5 to 7 years. Maintaining financial record for 7 years and store supporting documents such as receipt, invoice and bank statements. And the third one is they need to pay the correct taxes by the deadline. they need to avoid underpayment, which may lead to penalties, and uses the e-payment. And lastly, they also need to cooperate during the audit investigation. They need to provide the requested document truthfully and attend interview if required. For the last party, I will be talking about the tax agent. The right for tax agent is they have the right to represent their clients. They are legally authorized to file tax returns, handle audits, and negotiate with LHDN on behalf of clients. And they can also represent the clients in tax dispute, appeal, and penalty negotiations. And the second one is they have access to client tax data. They can request and review the financial records, invoices, and supporting documents from clients for accurate tax filing, and allowed to communicate directly with LHDN officers regarding client tax matters. And the third one is they can charge professional fees. They are entitled to charge reasonable fees for tax advisory, filing, and audit support services. Fees should be transparent and agreed upon with the client. And lastly, they have the right to refuse fraudulent cases. They can terminate service if the client provide a false or incomplete information or engage in tax fraud or evasion. Now, for the responsibility of tax agent, they have duty to comply with the tax law. They must ensure all filings follow the Income Tax Act 1967. And number 2, they have duty to do due diligence. They must verify client submitted document for accuracy before filing, and they should also flag discrepancy and advise client on corrections. And the third one, they have duty to maintain confidentiality. They must not disclose client tax details to third parties without consent, and they must securely store client records minimum 5 to 7 years. And the last one, they need to avoid conflict of interest. They must not represent both parties in a transaction, for example, buyer and seller in property deals.
I see. Then, Mr. Alif, is there any assessment, or what is the assessment for the tax audit? And is there any possible consequences or penalty that I should know about?
Yes, there is a tax audit assessment that will be conducted, and there is a possible consequences and penalty if you do some misconduct. I will let my other agent to explain it to you.
Okay, hi to Mr. Akmal, Mr. Amir, and Mr. Alif. Today I'm going to tell you guys about the tax audit assessment. There are 3 things that I think you should know. First is the review of income and expenditure records. The tax audit examines the taxpayer business record and financial affairs to ensure that the declared income and claiming expenses are accurate and comply with tax laws. This includes verifying all income sources, business expenses, and claims made in the tax return through supporting documents such as invoice, receipt, and financial statement. Okay, the second thing is verification of supporting documentation and record keeping. The audit assess whether the taxpayer has maintained sufficient and complete records as required by the law. This includes book of account, vouchers, receipts, bank statements, and other relevant documents that substantiate the income and expenses reported. The third is reconciliation of income and expenditure, assets and liabilities, especially for individual and sole proprietors. The audit may require reconciling income with expenditure and asset ownership to detect any understatement of the taxable income. This may involve reviewing personal bank statement, credit card statements, and lifestyle expenses to ensure reported income matches the taxpayer's financial capacity and lifestyle. Okay, let's move to the 3 common audit penalties in Malaysia. The first one is the penalty for incorrect tax return, or maybe there is some omission or understatement of income. If a taxpayer omits or understates income in their tax return, a penalty up to 200% of the tax undercharge can be imposed, along with a fine up to 10,000 ringgit. Okay, the second one is penalty for willful tax evasion. For cases involving willful intent to evade tax, the penalty can be up to 300% of the tax undercharge and may include a fine up to 2,000 ringgit or imprisonment up to 3 years. The third one is penalty for repeated offences. The penalty increase for repeated offences discovered during audits. There are 3 audits. The first offence, 15% of the additional tax. The second offence, 30%, while the third and subsequent offence, 45%. So my advice is, if you want to do some audit, make sure you guys do it correctly and try to avoid any error, because there will be some penalty you might be charged. And yeah, that's all for me.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Alif. Thank you, Mr. Amir.
So, Mr. Akmal, don't you forget to pay your tax agent.
Yes. I will contact you later, Mr. Amir. Then please send me your QR code.
Yes.
I will pay you later.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay.
On the street and I got my swag on.
Okay.
Get the money, gotta get my bag on.
Okay.
Triple back, flip out the whole scene.
Okay.
All you